Hi, my name is Lena, welcome to my channel, and this is a belated weekend reads. I have very little time to read at weekends because I have a life. When Steve Donoghue talks about us other booktubers having a life, it sounds very exciting, but in my experience it's mostly cleaning and cooking and doing other household chores. So I have little time to read at weekends, but I'd like to talk to you about books I have finished this week. The first one is the second book in Hugh Corbett mystery series by Paul Doherty, Crown in Darkness. And I like this book very much. I'm very happy that I have given this mystery a second chance, this series a second chance. So this time Hugh, who was a fighting man in the King Edward I army, and now he is a trusted clerk of Robert Burnell. So he is in Scotland and he investigates the death of the Scottish king, Alexander III. And Scotland is in a bit of a turmoil because Alexander III did not leave a legal successor. He did not have a son. So it's a bit dangerous to be asking questions about the death of the king. And Hugh is in a bit of trouble. He is always in a bit of trouble, and his life is always in danger. And this time he's on his own because it takes 7 weeks for a letter to reach his master in London. So he's very much on his own. And I like this kind of mysteries. This book reminded me of Germanicus by David Wishart. I like when an author takes a suspicious death, which is a historical fact, and tries to see whether it was a murder and who could have done it, why, and how. So I enjoyed this mystery very much. I liked it. And the writing was much better. I believe Paul Doherty is a very experienced writer, very skillful writer, but he still cuts corners now and then when he needs to give us certain information, but he can't be bothered to write a lengthy thing, a lengthy dialogue. That, I believe, that makes a narration a bit more controlled, so you can feel this control sometimes. But the book is about 150 pages and the narration moves really, really fast. It's exciting and interesting. But I believe that some 20 or 40 pages more would have benefited the book, would have made Scottish character probably stand out, to make them more fleshed out. Well, nevertheless, I like this book. And it reminded me of SPQR as well, my favorite series by John Maddox. John Maddox Robert. I can never get these 3 names right. I'm sorry. So it reminded me of my favorite series because Paul Doherty takes about 50 pages to set the scene for us, to make us acquainted with major players, with major characters. He also has this I don't know, speciality. In my opinion, he is very good at cinematic descriptions. So when he describes something, it's very vivid. It's very vivid, it really stands out, and it's dramatic and cinematic. It's almost as though he writes for a movie. But I really enjoyed this story, and I will continue with the series, but not right now. Then I have finished 2 plays by Aristophanes. The first one I talked to you about a bit, The Knights. And the play is bizarre. It's a very bizarre. It doesn't have a story, in my opinion. It's very strange. I understand his social commentary. He says that first of all, he accuses the Cleon, the Athenian general, of embezzling public funds, of extorting bribes, of corruption, and of prolonging the war, because war benefits the general. It's kind of profitable for him. So he makes all these accusations that can be slander. Never mind. So he also says that Athenians are not as great as they used to be, that they don't take an active part in the government of Athens as they ought to do. They go to assemblies just to earn some money. They sit there and sleep with their eyes open, and they would applaud and cheer anyone who would flatter them, and they would trust this person with their money, with their fleet, with their lives, with the destiny of their city. So he says that the Athens should become great again, that ought to become great again, needs to become great again, that they need a fleet, they need a great fleet again, that they need to stop young men using their connections or money to avoid serving in the army, and that they especially need peace. So I understand all that. But the play itself is bizarre. So there is this man, a sausage seller, and he tries to compete with Cleon to take his place, to get elected by people of Athens, and to take Cleon's place. And he does all that by competing with Cleon in lying and cheating and stealing and shouting. Yeah, that's very important. Who can shout the who is the best at shouting? I guess that's very important. So he wins this competition, and he replaced Cleon, and it's supposed to be a great thing for Athens, when he knows nothing about being a general and when he has no education at all. So tell me, how this not a bizarre play? So it's a very, very strange play. Then I have read The Wasps by Aristophanes, and I read most of this plays with Lukáš from the channel Acro Readers Thesis, and now I finish my collection. So The Wasps, I really like this play. It's probably much more simple. It's about this. Aristophanes is mocking the obsession of Athenian peoples with court and proceedings and with trials. So he mocks all that. But it kind of has a story. There is this old man who is obsessed with courts and trials, so much that he wakes up before dawn, and he and his old buddies, his pals, they gather together and they go to this court building, to the assembly probably, I don't remember, sorry. So he goes there to take his place and to wait for the court. So, and he explains to his son, try to explain to his son why he likes it, that it makes him feel powerful, that all these people, they try to win his vote. All these powerful, rich people, they are kind of in his hands. So he tries to explain the excitement to his son, but his son cannot understand it. And he thinks that his father shames himself by this strange and stupid habit, like this obsession. He wants his father to be a wise man, to look, to have a different status, to be wise, to be rich, to be very well educated, to be able to have discussions with Socrates. Something not he does not mention Socrates, but what he means that he wants his father to go to different dinners with wise people and have these wise discussions and be on the level with them. So it all ends, it backfires big time. And the story is funny. We are shown the court in this play, and it's funny as well. It's strange, bizarre, and funny. It's almost like these trials. They were kind of an entertainment for the judges. So, of course, there is no such thing as evidence of the defense or evidence of the accusation. That's you win the case if you make public to like you and make public the public to believe you, and just if you make them wish to help you. It's a very funny play in my opinion. Unfortunately, the end is not translatable, so the end is a bit of a letdown, but I think it was great when it was performed in ancient Greek, in Athens. And I have started a book that I wanted to read, Thebes, the Forgotten City of Ancient Greece by Paul Cartledge. I'm reading most of my books in ebook form, sorry, I have nothing to show you. But I will leave links to Goodreads pages for these books into info box. So, I have read only the first chapter, the introduction, but I have a very good feeling about this book because it's kind of a review of ancient books that survived, of Hesiod and the whole company, and Herodotus and all the jazz. So I'm very excited about that. If it's a review of books written by authors, so it's much closer to me and much easier for me to understand that than a die-hard history. That's what I mean. So I'm very excited about this book. And I think that's about all. Thank you for watching. Goodbye and happy reading.